You are listening to How to Get Over Your Ex, episode number 144. My ex wasn't who I thought they were. Welcome to How to Get Over Your Ex, a podcast on getting over your ex without it just taking time. I'm your host, Breakup Coach Dorothy. Let's turn your pain into power and your heartbreak into happy. Hello, my beautiful Bravehearts. How is everyone doing today? I love you guys so much. So I was in the 5-day breakup boot camp and someone had mentioned that their ex wasn't who she thought he was, which was causing her a lot of disappointment. Anyone else resonate? Can we raise hands? Anyone else resonate with that? Like your ex isn't who you thought he was going to be? Now, I want you to look at this and how it plays out in your life. So a circumstance is a human stated, I'm too afraid of commitment and of getting married. After they had already told us, right, that they wanted commitment, that they wanted to get married. So your thought about those neutral words, because circumstances in our life are neutral, those are the things that we cannot control. The optional sentence you tell yourself is, he wasn't who I thought he was, which makes you feel disappointed, right? And then we feel disappointed. We're like, are you kidding me? He is totally not who he said he was going to be. He's totally not who I thought he was. But then that creates disappointment. And when we're feeling disappointed, we seek validation from others. We ruminate about the past. Lots of crying, not moving forward in our own life, stagnation, perpetuating fear about opening up to others, beating ourselves up, maybe even a little bit of negative self-talk about how we didn't see this coming. Anyone else? All of that then results in, I am not who I thought I was. I'm not being who I thought I was now. And I'm probably not being the version of myself that I want to be. All because we're fixated on how he wasn't who we thought he was. Isn't that crazy? Just blows my mind. Now, I want to start off by saying that this may not be a problem for you. If you think to yourself, well, he's not who I thought he was, and you feel relieved or an emotion that feels action you align with and you like, no need to listen to the rest of the episode. No need to change it, okay? That's working for you. There are no good or bad thoughts or right or wrong thoughts. But for those of you who do feel extreme disappointment or betrayal when you're thinking about how he isn't who he said he was going to be, I want you to listen up. We're going to do some work on this today. Now, number one, what I'm seeing is we make it mean something bad about ourselves when someone isn't who they said they wanted to be, or when someone else says they're one way and they show up a different way. Somehow, here we go, as humans, we make it about ourselves. How did I not read this person correctly? How did I read this person so incorrectly? I can't believe I didn't see this coming. And when we do that, it only leads to seeking external validation. It leads to doubting ourselves, second guessing and questioning ourselves, which is detrimental to the relationship you have with you. It's never a good thing. It never leads to us being more safe. And I think ultimately that's why we're questioning ourselves. We're like, oh my God, if I didn't see this, how am I going to see it again in the future? If I didn't see this the first time, how am I going to keep myself safe from it in the future? But when we're doubting ourselves, when we're second guessing ourselves, it's never leading to us being even more safe. When I'm more confident in my own being, I'm better about not putting myself in situations that I don't want to be in. I'm better at saying no in uncomfortable conversations with others. That's when I'm safe, when I'm more confident and solid and secure with me, not when I'm doubting myself. And the only reason, remember, that we're doubting ourselves when we're in this kind of situation is because we're making what he said and did about us. But he's the one that said he was one thing and then did another. That has nothing to do with us or our integrity. And I want you to take a moment. We've got to look at alternative truths in this kind of situation and take our work deeper by asking, so what? I love this question, you guys. He wasn't who I thought he was. So what? What comes up for you then? Some alternative truths that I found useful is it possible it has nothing to do with me fundamentally as a person? Could it be possible that he thought he knew who he was? So therefore, I thought I knew who he was, and then he changed his mind. I thought I liked strawberry until I didn't. Now I like chocolate. Does that mean there's something wrong with my friend if she got me strawberry and I'm like, no girl, ew, I don't want the strawberry? Does that make her a bad friend? No. Is it possible that he was who he thought he was and now he doesn't know himself? Like, this is an interesting one that I've been playing with even myself. I thought I knew for certain that I wanted to have a kid no later than 33. And now that I got a puppy and she's taken up so much of my time, I'm like, can I have a kid too right now? I don't know. And does that have anything to do with my partner Jake and his ability to have children? No. Now, is it possible that he was who you thought he was and he also played another person to a different crowd? Because this happens too, right? It happens where he says he's one person and he's all in on your relationship and then come to find out he has a whole second family. Or he shows up completely different around his friends, or he shows up completely different around his job. But it doesn't mean your relationship wasn't meaningful. And it doesn't mean anything about you. And by telling yourself that your relationship wasn't meaningful, or that, you can't trust yourself anymore because someone else did that, the only one you're hurting is yourself. Now, that doesn't mean you're okay with your ex having played two roles or having two families, but it does mean that you know more now. You now know more of him, and you don't want the more. You don't want someone who shows up differently in a different crowd. You don't want someone who has two families. And then it becomes a you choice. Then it becomes a you decision, not his. And that's how we take our power back. We look at these alternative truths and we turn it into a decision for ourselves. That's how you turn pain into power, by making the decision yours, not his, not your ex's. Let's look back to, because we talked about alternative truths, but let's go back to the so what question. So what he wasn't who he thought he was, or so what he wasn't who I thought he was, right? Why is that a problem for me? And we talked about productive problem solving a couple weeks ago. Start solving for that instead of ruminating about how someone becomes a new version of themselves. People change. And people get to this place where they don't know who or what they want. And people lie. And people show up differently around different people. And that doesn't have anything to do with you. Those are things that we do not have control over. But what we do have control over are our thoughts, our feelings, our actions, and our results. So what do you want to be feeling or creating or doing instead of worrying about who he was or wasn't during your relationship? What do you want to believe about yourself, regardless of how he handled himself? So your tangible next steps here are, what are the alternative truths? Am I in an either or situation? Where is the and? I gave you a bunch of examples around, is it possible and, right? What is the bigger picture? If you looked at it and like zoomed way out of your life, what is the alternative truths? And then secondly, ask yourself that beautiful question of so what? Why is it a problem to me, that he wasn't who I thought he was? Am I making it mean something about myself? What's the real problem? And start questioning that, and then using the productive problem solving episode to start solving for that actual problem. In conclusion, my brave hearts, he wasn't who I thought he was, or my ex wasn't who I thought he or she was, is simply an optional sentence your brain is offering you. And I want you to look at, is it serving you or not? And if it's not, find an alternative truth that shifts your feelings so that you can move on with more productive action in your life, so that you can be the person you thought you were, regardless of what he's doing or not doing. All right, my brave hearts, I love you so much. I hope you have an amazing day, and I will talk to you next time. If you're loving the How to Get Over Your Ex podcast and you want to learn how to get over your ex and build a life bigger and better than the one you had with your ex, I would love to personally invite you to take this work deeper at breakupcoachdorothy.com/next steps.